Selfish is a word we use to describe someone who only thinks about themselves and doesn't like to share or consider other people's needs. Egoistic means being very self-centered and thinking mainly about your own needs and desires. It comes from the word ego, which means self. Another word from the prefix ego is egocentric, describing someone who believes they are the center of everything. For example,
children can be egocentric, thinking the world goes around them.
You may describe a selfish person as self-centered or self-concerned. Both mean thinking only about yourself and your own needs, without considering others. They use the prefix self, which means focused on oneself. For example,
he is so self-concerned that he rarely thinks about how others feel.
If we want to warn others that Peter is selfish, what can we say? We can say,
Peter would even keep the sun to himself if he could.
This means Peter is extremely selfish and would keep everything for himself, even something as big and essential as the sun. Or, we can say,
sharing isn't in his vocabulary unless it's something he doesn't want.
This means Peter only shares things he doesn't care about, showing he is very selfish. Stubborn is used to describe someone who is very determined not to change their mind or behavior, even if it's unreasonable. If you're stubborn, you stick to your own ideas and don't listen to others. Strong is usually a compliment, but if it's used to describe your mind, the situation may be different. Like strong-willed or strong-minded, both are used to describe a firm attitude that is not willing to change opinions easily, even if there might be good reasons for change. Sometimes, we use head to describe a person's will and use animals to describe one's character. If you want to describe a stubborn person, what animals would you usually use? The answer is pigs and bulls. For example,
he was so pig-headed that he wouldn't take advice from anyone.
There is another animal that is often used to describe stubborn people, and that is the mule. For example,
he's so mulish not to move his car, causing a long traffic jam.
If we want to warn others that Mary is very stubborn, we can say,
Mary is as stubborn as a mule wearing earplugs.
Mules are said to be stubborn, and with earplugs, you can imagine how unwilling she is to listen. Or, we can say,
everyone agreed to change the plan, but she dug her heels in and refused to compromise.
Dig her heels in is an idiom meaning she was very stubborn and firm in her decision. Lazy is a word we use to describe someone who doesn't like to work or put in any effort. Another word with similar meaning of lazy is indolent. For example,
he was too indolent to finish his homework on time.
People always use an animal to describe someone who is lazy. Guess what? Yeah, sloths. Sloths are animals known for their very slow movements and relaxed lifestyle. Slothful means being as slow and lazy as a sloth. For example,
her slothful attitude made her miss many important deadlines.
work shy is a British term that means avoiding work whenever possible. For example,
the work-shy employee always tried to avoid any difficult tasks.
bone idle is another British term that emphasizes extreme laziness. If someone is bone idle, they are completely and utterly lazy. For example,
He's so bone idle that he never makes his bed.
if we want to warn others that David is a lazy guy, we can say,
If there was an award for doing nothing, David would send someone else to accept it.
this means David is very lazy and wouldn't even get up to accept an award for being lazy. Or, we can say,
David has got the work ethic of a sloth on a Sunday.
this means David works very slowly, like a sloth on a relaxed day. Overbearing is a word we use to describe someone who is very bossy and controlling. If someone is overbearing, they try to dominate others and take control in a way that can be annoying or oppressive. People also use high-handed to describe someone who uses their power or authority in a way that is too forceful and without considering others' feelings. Another commonly used word is arrogant, which means having an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities, often without considering others' opinions. Informally, you can use snooty or haughty to describe people who behave in a superior way and often look down on others. For example,
She is the kind of snooty salesperson you often see in luxury shops.
or
His haughty manner made it difficult for anyone to approach him.
so, if we want to warn others that Sally is very overbearing or arrogant, what can we say? We can say,
Sally is so overbearing. Even her shadow feels crowded.
that means even Sally's shadow feels crowded because of her dominant presence. Or, we can say,
Talking to her is like getting a lecture from a self-appointed queen.
this shows that she acts as if she has authority over everyone, similar to a queen giving orders. We're wrapping up today's episode. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons. Your support means a lot. See you in the next episode.